Now, let me show you the real sick, perverse part of this. The true objective for my African brothers and sisters on the continent. We as Africans in this country know because they did it to us. So we can tell you the truth. This protest, I'm not talking about the authentic black young people on the ground that are fighting. I'm not talking about them. But those who are taking control are burning buildings, are burning Amazons down. Those are doing a lot of this stuff. Those are individuals that are trying to push the homophile agenda. And so they're creating all of this havoc to rebirth the gay movement that they've classified and called Black Lives Matter. Here you see the white female out there with a sign saying Black trans people matter. No, they don't. All right? If they mattered, then they would be doing something that would create more people. And a male sodomizing another male doesn't produce more people. So it doesn't appear that they believe that black lives really matter because they won't involve themselves in a lifestyle that creates life. They believe that black death matters. And so they participate in sick behavior because of sexual abuse in our community, which we have to do something about. It's happening all throughout America. It's happening through South Africa. It's happening in Cameroon. It's happening throughout the African continent. Some places it's much worse than others. I just named a few of the places that it is horrible. And it's happening here on a horrible level. It's happening in Jamaica. It's on a horrible level, the sexual abuse. And so it's leading to this kind of behavior in our people, sexual confusion. So while we're trying to fight for justice so that we don't have people killing our people, these sick perverts come in with this kind of sick behavior. Look at this. That's an LGBT umbrella. As they're throwing bricks and stones and all kinds of things at this glass, the objective of which is not to help black people, but they're really under the guise of Black Lives Matter trying to push the LGBT agenda. You will see that. Most African nations have been strong against the LGBT agenda. But yet I talk to people in Liberia. Now the LGBT has come full-fledged, open, and they're strutting their stuff around Liberia. They have the same thing in Ghana where they're pushing hard. They had pushed CSE, comprehensive sex education, in the schools. Now I want you to see again, brothers and sisters, on the African continent. Supposedly they're saying they're fighting for black people. But this is the mayor of Minneapolis who is over the police chief. So he should have some power to get something done. But instead of doing something about the murder of brother George Floyd, this is who he puts up. This is actually a male. This is not a woman. This is a male. I can't call him a man because he's not acting like a man. This is a male that the white Jacob Frey, mayor of Minneapolis, puts up to represent black interests as it relates to the murder of George Floyd.
All throughout this country, all throughout America, and right here in Minneapolis, we feel as if there was a knee on all of our collective necks. A knee that says black life does not matter to the institutions that dictate what happens in this culture and society. I am a part of this system to help to take that knee off of our necks. And that is the work that I will be doing.
All right, so what they're doing now is a concerted effort to take the image of the black man in America and make it an effeminized, sick, perverted male, a homophile, interracially dating and marrying, something other than a black man who believes in marrying and being with black women and producing black children and black families, and a man who's a warrior who'll break your face if you try to hurt his family. This is important. This is actually a male dressed and acting like a female, which is the behavior that they're trying to impress upon my brothers and sisters on the African continent that we believe in. These are the sick, perverted Europeans out there talking about Black Lives Matter. I won't even dignify reading that disgusting shirt, and I'm not putting this out here to be perverted. I want you to see what happens when you integrate with them. So you're going out there to say we want to stop the death of Floyd, and you got about a bunch of sick European female freaks holding up black phalluses with all kind of sick stuff on there. So now they want to have another orgy or something. They want to have another 60s where they had those parties out there. I forget what they call it, Woodstock, a sex fest. So black people's death becomes a way for white females to go have their sex fantasies with black guys. And black people, some, not most of us, but some of us are too foolish to recognize you don't want to be with someone like this. And so we get caught up in this madness when it's all about the genocide of our people. You're not no decent African being around with no female like this. This is disgusting. Even got this female. I'm not going to play a lot of it, but I just want you to see. What does this have to do?
Hell yeah.
She's out there.
She pooping. She gotta let it go.
This is a white female.
She's like, I'm covering my face.
They turned over a police car.
She nasty. She nasty.
And she's
oh shit.
She
223. Give me the 300, bro.
I want you to understand what kind of folks we're dealing with. They're not here to help us. What kind of savage, after the police car is turned over, so you're supposed to be rebellious, then what you do is get on top of it and take a dump and relieve yourself? That's disgusting. I can't even describe it. I'm sorry. I don't like the language I'm using. I'm sorry. I can't describe these folks. We should not be out there with them. When we're fighting for our liberation and we think that these folks are going to help us, what can these sick freaks do? These white females need to go home, close their legs, and go back to their own males. And I hope a lot of you white guys, some of y'all are listening and putting your little comments in there. Why don't you put a comment about that? Say, white females, close your legs. Close your mouth and close your legs. Because this is disgusting. This don't have nothing to do with no black rebellion. This is not what's on our people's mind. We out there talking about stop killing us. We're not out here into this sick freakishness. You bring that to the table. That ain't no black folks doing that. It's disgusting. We have a DVD for brothers and sisters out there. You want to get it, you can get it electronically too. If you're on the African continent, you can get it electronically. If you're in America, you can get it electronically, or you can get the hard copy. WarOnTheHorizon.com. Get possessed. We're starting to become them. We're integrating with them, and we're starting to take them in. Hey, John Robinson, you're white, so help me out. Why don't you say something about these white females? Help me out. There's a white guy on here named John Robinson. For whatever reason he wants to do on the thread, why don't you tell your females, put some clothes on, get some decency, close their mouth, close their legs, and go home. Help me out, John. I need some white help now because it's sick. This is not what we're about. Now, I'm going to show you what happens because there is resistance to this LGBT madness. But I'm going to show you what's happening and why our people have to realize this is a war. Right now in Taiwan, they had forced the folks of Taiwan to accept legalization of gay marriage. And so now the Taiwanese, you got people in the church that are upset about it and are organized and saying they're against it. Now these folks are getting slammed on the ground and brutalized because they're trying to protest to say we don't think that men should be marrying men and women should be marrying women. This is the trajectory of the Black Lives Matter. They want to make it so that if you are a black person, then you're perceived to be harmful and bad if you're straight and you believe a black man should be with a black woman. They want to put a knee on your neck and on your throat because they're saying that you're some kind of bad person, when in fact you're a person with decency that wants to keep our race moving. Let me show you some of our brothers and sisters that are fighting this Gay Lives Matter. This is in London. A sister, she knows what's going on. She knows that this is not a real movement about our people. And our people are standing up, and I'm proud of them because they're beginning to start to fight. Say, get this sick, perverted stuff out of here. This ain't no Black Lives Matter. We know our lives matter. This is a gay movement that's not about helping our people. We're not playing games with you guys. Get out.
So, fam, here we are. And yeah, of course, I'm going to be a little pissed. Black Lives Matter, you know, well, we know, those of us who know how the movement started out, and it was hijacked by those black lesbos, and it became a hashtag. Okay, so that's what it is now. Black Lives Matter, or don't forget your fucking hashtag Black Lives Matter. Okay, we're not a fucking slogan, we're not a mantra. Okay, our lives really do matter. We really can't fucking breathe. We haven't been able to breathe for a fucking long time. We haven't been able to breathe for a fucking long time in this great Brutus of a country. So, yeah, quite frankly, fuck Black Lives Matter and your fucking hashtag mantra, because that's what this is about. okay? The Soros-sponsored organisation that is Black Lives Matter, which is about black death, not about black life, okay? As you know, I don't endorse them in any way. I sure as hell won't be supporting them in any way. I'm here to link with some conscious Pan-Africans and also to see if I can identify who some of the turncoats and sellouts might be. Ashe.
And I want to be clear. This is the kind of stuff we got to be going towards. What is it all headed towards? Again, my brothers and sisters in America, a lot of this is review for you unless you're a first timer. But for my brothers and sisters on the continent, you need to understand. They're already pushing this homophile, pedophilic, homosexual agenda on the African continent. This is a short clip from homosexual imperialism. Is it called colonialism, the new colonialism, sexual colonialism? It's a production that was done that's really good. But I want you to see what they're pushing on the children, because this is who they're coming after. Like they did in Ghana when they had gotten it all the way through to being legislated in the school system, comprehensive sex education. You're about to learn what comprehensive sex education is and then see why people got so upset. And we made sure that we could put our voice in it from America to tell Ghanaian people, do not allow your government to do this to you.
This is definitely an attack. It will affect your child rearing. It will affect your education system.
This is instructions for the teacher in the classroom to ask her or his students, how do people express their sexual feelings? What is abstinence? And here are some answers. Oral sex, masturbation, anal sex, massage, holding hands, touching each other's genitals, saying, I like you. And what they're doing is equating all these things. Saying, I like you is equal to anal sex.
It is pornography. Men, especially on the House floor, did not want to look at. We couldn't show this on the television news, but yet we want our fourth grade children to be looking at this book. In the name of sexuality education, children are seeing obscene materials that have been ruled by Congress and by the Supreme Court impossible to show to children.
An online CSE program for African youth called The World Starts With Me tells children that sexuality includes oral sex and masturbation. It then tells them it's their own choice if they want to lose their virginity. It shows children pictures of naked girls and boys in various stages of development, and then asks them to point out differences in their private parts. Parents likely will never know, as it is all done online away from home.
They have elementary students as young as 9 years old. Then they teach them how to wear a condom. And they have this plastic genitalia. And they even have young girls. They're teaching them how to put a condom on a male genitalia and boys how to put a condom on a woman's genitalia without the knowledge and consent of the parents.
They're giving them handouts, negotiating sexual encounters with other students. For example, there are statements like this: can I take your shirt off? It makes me hot when you touch me here. Is it okay if I take my pants off?
Where we in Latin America, we still have a lot of poverty. We have communities that don't have fresh water, that don't have electricity. Focus is completely shifted from basic needs. They get comprehensive sexual education without the consent of parents, taking and deconstructing also the family.
My brother Luigi and I had an opportunity to go to the United Nations and give a speech on the UN floor. I told them how Planned Parenthood was passing out a booklet for HIV-positive youth at the United Nations called Healthy, Happy, and Hot. This is for the kids who have AIDS. It teaches about sexual pleasure through masturbation with same-sex partners and even if you are drunk.
This pamphlet called Healthy, Happy, and Hot tells young people that you have the right not to disclose your HIV status to a sexual partner if you're not comfortable. It also tells young people that are HIV positive that if they decide with their partner not to wear a condom, that's their decision.
The World Health Organization standards for sexuality education in Europe actually suggest that children ages 0 to 4 should be given information about masturbation and given the right to explore their gender identities. For ages 4 to 6, children should be taught about same-sex relationships and respect for different norms regarding sexuality.
The
interests of organizations like UNFPA and IPPF is to get parents out of the picture and to radicalize and sexualize children.
UNFPA has tried to convince my country to change our positions on issues such as reproductive rights and comprehensive sexuality education. Madam Chair, does the UNFPA think it can do this because Nauru is the smallest member states of the United Nations?
The Nigerian government was actually told by the Western countries that if they do not give in, that they will be denied foreign aid.
All right. And just one anecdote. Ignore John tonight. I can go ahead and block him after this program. If he doesn't comment, we don't invite him in, but if he's here, he's been requested to comment on white females out there holding plastic phalluses in this filth and degeneracy. And I haven't blocked him yet because I want the brothers and sisters to be able to look at the comment section and see these whites, they say that they're allies and they agree with us, but then when they're asked to correct their behavior, you notice they don't want to do that because that means they're not really here for genuine purposes. That's the only reason I haven't blocked them. But I don't want anybody else to say anything else to John Robinson. I didn't want to get off course here, but I was just leaving him there because I want to show that's a legitimate request for him. He's white. Since he wants to be here, he can say, as a white guy, I requested the white females close their legs, close their mouths, and get off of this sexual degeneracy and in integrating black movements. Because that's exactly what they're doing. You see what they're doing here with the children. You see what they're promoting here. This is something I just got today. LGBTQ lifestyle directly to children is being promoted on new Pixar, where they have a open, homophile cartoon stuff that they're putting out here in animation. They're coming after children. So then this is something very serious for our people. And so I want people to understand, the brothers and sisters on the African continent, this is a war that we're in. And so even with this, it's important to understand, first they get you softened up, getting on your knees, then they start giving you money, then they start directing your action, and the next thing they're saying is, well, you got to fight for all human rights. That's what they call it now when you want to sodomize a man or let your son be sodomized by a man or your daughter lust another female. They call it human rights, totally disregarding your African rights. You got to know what you're looking at. So I'm going to show you now is a video because when we were fighting this from 2012 to 2016, we realized we also had to make things for our children. We're not just making music for the adults, but we got to be able to teach what goes on. So we did, this is a little video that I'm going to show where we did it for the children. And it kind of told them about some of their superheroes with a book that we actually made talking about freedom fighting, some of our great freedom fighters. Some of them were in the West, some of them were back home on the African continent. But we're just trying to change the rhythm and spirit of this rebellion now so that you can see what a fight looks like.
Yeah, black power, yeah. Yeah, y'all know that children's story joint, classic joint. Yeah, I know that joint. Well, United Front said we needed something to tell our revolutionary children. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we got word. Once upon a time, not long ago, the black woman was a goddess, wasn't called a hoe. The black man God, just us stood. Before the caveman came, destroyed the hood. There was a little devil that wasn't bred with another little devil. This is what he said. Me and you tonight, we gonna take some land, kill some black folks and create the clan. They did the job, murder was a breeze. Noose around the neck, biowar for disease. They killed another and another, attacked a sister and a brother. Sent the COINTELPRO, disrupt us undercover. Crackers raped Africa, but called us savage. I wish my ancestors had plenty automatic. Put us on the ships, branded us on our backs. Raped the little boy, so we grow up with facts. Till Nat Turner stood up, said God is with me. Axe cocked back at the devil's headpiece. Cracker got scared, he starts to figure. Gotta make him Christian, keep control of these friggin' white trash mobs chase us up the block. They would hang the shooters, castrate. Their daughters kept the cops. Strange fruit hanging from the trees, crackers slipped up. He ain't see the Dessalines coming to fix us. Black power heroes, gonna heal the nation. Crackers can't fathom war that they facing. Zulu drum playing, take a step with your left. Running top speed, bring the devil his death. Knock the old cracker down, made sure we killed him. Ran up in his home, finished off the children. Ran up the stairs, kicked down the back door. Hiding on the floor, yeah, guess what we saw? A white boy in blackface, rapping body dope. Now he's staring down the nozzle, got the beam at his throat. Brother said, save your bullets, you don't need a gun. Torture him for information, kill him when we done. Went outside, it was cops all over, so we hollered at the Bloods, they brought Supernova. Headed to the precinct, must defeat the beast. Spray him, lay him down, and you bury him deep. Escaped alive, left a cop's jaw shattered. When my people stand up, you see the devil scatter. Make sure you get the Zionists out your head. Told the cracker back off, for all y'all dead. Keeping their hearts, brothers know they ain't wrong, so they ain't let nobody go and started killing them off. The Uncle Tom can't believe it, he seems astounded. Before long, all of them got surrounded. They got a choice, freedom or purgatory. Yes, this the way we tellin' our story. My name Dito Green on the black man team. Shot one time so all the rest could see. This is so funny, we encourage you to laugh. Look at your master laying on his. We will regain our minds of the past. I'm here to bring you strength while we walking on the path. Peace.
All right. Well, we wrapping up